Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Stainless Steel. We currently have 7 turns to annex Aberdeen, so what we're going to do is have Owen Vaughan just chillax on the border for now. We're going to wait for these catapults to arrive, and our final unit as well. We've got another slot open in this army, and it's going to be the Spearman Sergeants, actually. There we go. What timing? I'm glad it worked out. So those Spearman Sergeants will join Owen's army up, and we will take Aberdeen. Now we'll have to check out this Merchants Guild in Dublin. We are going to definitely accept this because I don't know what else to put in Dublin. It's kind of not an important city in our realm, so it might as well have a Merchants Guild, if anything. We're slowly gaining more money. I can't wait until we get a bit of peace so we can rebuild our finances. It appears that Barty of Arundel, our diplomat in Lazio, has kicked the bucket. So he concluded talks with the Papal States, and with his last dying breath, he drew up a plan for an alliance, and then he swiftly kicked the bucket, and now we're stuck with good old Nicholas Herbert, our shittiest diplomat. So I guess we're gonna have to try to get Nicholas's skills up by doing shit like bribing. I mean, there's no way to fail a bribe, but the more diplomatic stuff you do with a diplomat, the more skill they gain. Who'd thunk? But anyway, we're going to offer up an additional 500 florins. I think the Pope is so pleased that we're so far up his ass. Like, not even gonna lie. He is probably, if we were a person, he would adopt us as his son. If the Pope can adopt children, I'm not really sure if you can even have children or adopt children. I'm not sure. The Byzantines have declared a truce with the Seljuks and the Fatimids. I guess they've given up on Constantinople. I should say it's now Istanbul. So I guess they've just completely given up on that. Okay, that's going to be a thorn in their side for a long time. Their empire is now split in half, and that's very awkward for everyone. And also, Samuel Green, our priest in Rennes, has died. So of course we'll have to recruit another. Ooh, not a cog. There we go. Priest. Very nice. Also, Philibert Russell has come of age in Paris, actually. Nice. And he's administrator, so he can actually
Hail my king.
probably be the mayor of Paris. I don't see why not. Simon Russell's
Hail my
first
king.
son, second son. Let's see. Simon Russell, Samuel Russell, Philibert Russell. It's his second son. And Oliver Russell will be with us in a few short years. So I guess we'll have to pick out a city for Philibert to rule. He might as well rule Paris. I don't see why not. He could also rule London, which may be a better thing to do. He looks kind of shitty, though. My mistake, he's not shitty at all. I don't know what I'm talking about. He just doesn't have any command stars because he's never commanded an army because he is an administrator. But he is virile, so apparently there's going to be many more Russells in the future. Many, many moons later, there shall be thousands upon hundreds of Russells, and I'm fine with that. But he shall be the ruler of Paris for now. I don't really want to go digging around for a city for him to be the lord of, but Nottingham has some crops, and we'll have to build some siege works so we can get some trebuchets on the isle itself. Exeter has a merchant's wharf, and I should say we should build an abbey in Exeter because it is our religious center right now. That is where our Theologians Guild is. Winchester doesn't need anything. Dublin now has larger walls, so we'll have to build probably paved roads. Paris has a logging camp, and we'll probably have to upgrade Paris as well soon. But we'll build crops for now because there's 0 population growth in Paris. And I think everything else is repairs. Clermont doesn't really need anything except for crops because they too have 0 population growth. But look at this, we can retrain some crossbows. Excelente. And as for recruitment, not a lot going on. There's just our priest in Paris, who is, what's his name? Reginald Talbot, I suppose, and then our catapults in Nottingham, which are already on the move. So we'll declare war on the Scots fairly soon here. We just want to wait for these additional units. And other than that, I don't think much is going on. We're just shuffling a few units around in Paris and Angers, France in general, really. We got Edward de Camoy here. He doesn't need to be outside Clermont anymore because we have actually captured it. But we'll take a look at Lyon, and it's full of question marks, which is always terrifying. Just amorphous question marks littering the lobby and the courtyards of these castles. Bern has a bit of a garrison, nothing we can't handle. And we'll get Miles Plantagenet, our old friend Miles Plantagenet, to take a look at Dijon as well. But Duke Barty Carr can assault Lyon pretty soon here. I mean, he could probably assault the walls immediately because he has so much siege equipment in his army, but holy shit. We'll build all these machines just to be sure. And then next turn we will attack Dijon itself. Christopher Cromwell. Not a lot going on for him right now. Oh shit. Looks like the Scots have taken Oran. And now that's yet another city that we have to deal with. You know what? The Scots are actually pretty strong down south here in Flanders. So we may have to hold off on declaring war right away. Because we need to have a bit of a stronger army in Paris. And the like. We have a ton of weak units there. And that's basically it. And I'm not sure if we'd be able to withstand a Scottish onslaught. I'm sure we could. I mean, it's mostly militia armies. How are they able to take these cities with so much militiamen and basically naked Highlanders? I don't understand. But we've got a family member over here, and he's got not a bad army, actually. But that's another thing to keep in mind before we declare war. We just need to recruit a few units for Paris, and then we'll get underway. But anyway, I think we'll end the turn rather shortly here. Yes. Oh, so we have a new mission to cease hostilities with the Pope. The Republic of Genoa, a mission from the Pope. We're currently not hostile to the Pope. In fact, we are quite dearly friends. But luckily, this mission is, if we attack Genoa, your reputation will not be as high as it once was. That means we can take Lyon. And with a bit of a bribe, we could probably maintain the war. So we'll have to do that pretty soon here. I think what we'll start doing, though, to get into the papal game, actually, is... Well, I mean, we have a few cardinals in the College of Cardinals. We've got one bishop and one bishop preferati. But to get more, we'll have to have a few bishops with really high skills, and in order to get high skills, you have to use your priests to convert and whatnot. So what I'll do is I'll grab Jasper Beauclair here, and I'm gonna send him to the pagan lands up in Lithuania, and we're gonna recruit, or well, not recruit, but I suppose you could call it recruiting. But we're gonna convert as many of these pagans to Christianity as we can, and hopefully, oh shit, this fortress is Polish. My mistake. But hopefully we can convert as many pagans as we can, and we will then get some skill points for our priest here. And I'll do the same in the south of France. I will take a few priests, I'll drop them off in Marseille, and then I'll ship them off to northern Africa to convert some Moors, I guess. Some heretics, except for the Genoese lands are already Christian, and I'm sure the Sicilian lands as well are fairly Christian, so maybe we'll send our priests to those lands that need a bit of a helping hand, because they are 24% Islamic. Well, this one's not bad. Algiers is pretty much Christian, but we can send them, if anything, to Moorish lands in the south of the Iberian Peninsula here, and then we can help with the Reconquista by converting some of these Moors to Catholicism. Oh shit. Murcia is already quite Catholic. A lot of these cities are already very Catholic, except for Granada, of course, which is Moorish. Moorish and Muslim. But the Byzantines have eclipsed us. They are now the richest faction, surprisingly. You wouldn't think that would happen, but there they go. They've made enough money to eclipse us. I guess they are at peace now. They don't have to spend so much money on fighting, maybe. Alan Stafford, our assassin in Champagne here, has just died, which is not a big deal. We never really used him. I found not very many opportunities for our assassin, although I wasn't actively looking. Just there were never very good percentages to assassinate, and it was expensive, and I'd rather I just killed all my enemies in battle anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. Bordeaux has some crops, and you know what? I think we'll build a chapel just to appease our Christians in Bordeaux. What is going on here? Oh, never mind. I thought that was taxes. And somewhere else had a building, but I just closed it, so I can't actually check now. But that's okay. We don't need to build so many buildings now. We just need to get a bit more money before we go on a big building spree. So Rennes has a priest, Clermont has a priest, and it appears that they're all getting shipped off to Africa, so that's great. The Republic of Novgorod is now allied with the Kingdom of Lyon, which is the most awkward alliance that I've probably witnessed in this whole campaign. Novgorod, of course, is up way the fuck up here, and then Lyon is this single province down here. So if you ever needed help from your allies as Lyon in this situation, they would never arrive. They're landlocked by the Lithuanians and the Cuman Khanate, so they would never reach you. What are you thinking,
Sire.
Lyon? I suppose they're just hoping that just by virtue of having allies, they're not going to get
Tomorrow's
war
journey
declared on them,
planned
but I'm not
out,
sure if it works like that. But actually, you know what? I'm sure that does make a difference. But anyway,
Majesty.
James d'Adelberg is in Hamburg, and
Without
he's just going to march across... oh, shit.
Yes, sire.
Magdeburg is also
Tomorrow's
Danish.
journey
It
planned
appears that the
out,
Holy Romans have taken a massive shit-kicking. They have probably 2/3 of what their empire once was. The rest has been occupied by people all
Tomorrow's
across the
journey
world.
planned out, sire.
So that's quite interesting. I guess we'll have to get maps from the Holy Romans just to get a good glimpse. Maybe the Venetians, the Hungarians, maybe Byzantines. We'll send Adelberg all the way down to Constantinople, I suppose. But right now, we are besieging Lyon, and we'll have to assault it pretty soon here. Perhaps next episode, I'm not sure. But we've got our units ready to retrain in Angers, all of them. Ta-da! Quite a bit. Feudal Knights as well. There we are. Now, Robin Fitzwalter. See, I'll show you what I mean. If I were to assault, try to assassinate this guy over here, it's 10% or 21%. And those just aren't good odds. I need to kill some captains first to train this guy up, I suppose. Maybe I can kill some merchants, perhaps. Who knows? Humphrey Westmoreland needs to take a look at Bruges. We've already got a spy outside Antwerp. And that's why we can see all these units in these armies, first of all. Antwerp has quite a lot of Scottish family members. You know what? For being such a small nation, they've got quite a royal family. It is large. It is a large royal family. Okay. Our catapults are well underway. We just need to get our spearman sergeants there, and we are ready to rock. I'm going to recruit a spy up in York, perhaps? Yes, we'll recruit a spy in York so we can get some eyes on Inverness or Aberdeen, and then we'll continue the march. But for now, I guess we'll have to do not much. Nothing is really going on aside from our planned invasions. Guy of Moray needs to get trading salt, perhaps. For some reason, this spot is open. I assume someone died of old age, and now we've moved into trading salt. Good old salt merchant. So he is now making 275 florins, which is not bad. But I imagine Guy of Moray is going to kick the bucket any second now. I've got a few merchants heading south, and they'll hitch a ride on this fleet as well, along with my priests. And then we're all going to ride down to Northern Africa. I'm not sure where those merchants are, actually. Is it Thomas of Derby? Yes. It is these three merchants here. There we go.
Boarding, my liege.
I thought I had another, but it might be this guy down here that I sent to trade in wine. But that is not nearly enough florins. 107 florins to trade wine. That is not very much. We're going to send him to Northern Africa as well. There we are. So I think that's all of our priests, basically. Harold Lestrange is going to head as well. He's going to be the figurehead of our converting fleet, actually. Because Harold Lestrange is a badass name, and I'm going to remember it for all of time, basically. And we've got lots of units in Toulouse that we probably don't need right now. For example, these archers, I can't imagine we're going to need any of them anytime soon. So what I'll do is I will merge these units. Well, I decided to send those units to Marseille to reinforce this incredibly weak army. Because, you know what, I forgot that this army is as shitty as it is. We've got a unit of 3 feudal knights that I'm sure we can retrain in Toulouse. We've got a unit of crossbows, and I'm not sure where to retrain them. I'm going to have to send them up to Paris, perhaps. That's where we retrain the other units. And I've got some Malays Petites and some light men-at-arms that need to be retrained eventually. Right now, we're just going to garrison Marseille for now. Once we take Lyon, Dijon, and possibly Bern, I'm going to call it a draw with the Genoese because I don't want to take any lands in Italy itself or North Africa. And that'll get me that sweet, sweet peace that I've been longing for. So we can regroup, reform our armies, and regain a bit of Florence. Once we're done with the Scots as well, then we'll be at peace. But I'm sure we could disband 1 or 2 of these armies because maybe we only need 2 armies up in Paris to withstand the Scottish tide. I'm not sure. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The Doge of Genoa is dead. He is dead, which is great for us. The King of Jerusalem is dead, which is not so great actually. And there's also a great tournament. It will cost 3,000 florins, but may give our knights the fighting edge they need and allow the people to view the royal princesses. Of course, declining to fund such may be seen as the lack of confidence in their prowess. Of course we'll accept. Of course. 3,000 florins to please my knights. I don't see why not. So we have failed the mission to cease hostilities with the Pope, and we've lost one little tick, one little piece of faith, one little slice of heaven. So we'll have to bribe the Pope yet again. We'll give him another 500 florins. Nicholas Herbert, I'm sure you can manage that one, can't you? There's no way to fuck this up, Nicholas. Good old Nick, there's no way to fuck it up. And he hasn't. But he also hasn't gained any diplomatic skill yet, unfortunately. Looks like the Republic of Genoa is now at war with the Aragonese, which is interesting. I'm not sure if they're going to march south to the north of Africa. I really don't want them to march into my proposed English territories, so I guess we'll have to speed it up. We did gain 10,000 florins, though, last turn, which is great. We will soon surpass the Byzantines via money, I would say. So we've got a new family member, Owen Vaughan, and then Christina Pakenham has also died. She was quite old, I believe. Pakenham, there she is, died peacefully, 1206. Her husband died more than 10 years ago, actually. It was good old Geoffrey Pakenham. He's died long ago. But here we go. We've got Owen Vaughan now. Son of Owen Vaughan, or rather daughter of Owen Vaughan. Owen has 3 sons himself, though the Vaughan name is rocketing to the forefront of English history. Holy shit. And I'm sure the Russell name as well is going to be pretty strong in the end here. The Warwicks, unfortunately, have no children. So I think that name is probably going to die out pretty soon here. As well as the Salisbury line. There's not a single son for them. David of Salisbury is 73 years old, and I think he's still alive and kicking in Clermont. We've got Lawrence Roux now has a monk, which is great, I suppose. Yes, David of Salisbury is our general in Clermont. Now, I'm not sure when we can recruit some more generals. 6 turns for Bordeaux. I'm sure Toulouse, we can recruit one. Yes, in Toulouse we can actually recruit a new general. I don't think we need one quite yet, but that's always good to know. Angers. Same thing, another 7 turns, and I'm sure Nottingham as well is going to be a few turns away. 6 turns. I'm not sure how many generals we ultimately need. I think we have more than enough right now. But anyway, we have a bakehouse in Toulouse, and it appears that we're going to build some gallows. So, I'm not going to argue with my past self, so I'm just going to allow that to be built. But we now have our spy in York, and he's going to have to rocket to the forefront of the conflict with Scotland. Matthew of Evesham, there we go. He's going to take a look at Aberdeen, and our spearman sergeants are now in the army, and also our catapults. That's weird. Our spearman sergeants made it there before the catapults. That just shows you how slow they really are. We don't need any mercenaries, but we are ready to declare war, and we'll do that after having taken a look, I suppose. Well, it doesn't really matter, I guess, but we have time to spare, so I'm gonna be cautious more than anything. I'd rather be safe than sorry. That's how the saying goes. Okay, we've got a bunch of spies down in Genoese lands, and it appears that the garrison of Bern is burgeoning. It's growing, and they're about to burst out of the seams, just freaking flow out of every crack of the walls of Bern. It seems, though, that David of Salisbury's army in Clermont has also taken a shit kicking, so we're going to have to recruit or retrain some of those units eventually. But we can put a bunch of units back in Paris. There we go. And hopefully they'll be able to withstand any Scottish incursions eventually. I think we'll need some urban spear militia. There we go. Just to fill out the ranks. We could replace these spear militia, but for now we'll just leave them where they are. Our priests are going to be boarding the ship bound for Northern Africa any minute now. We've got Gilbert Courtenay, and I'm sure there's another. Oh, here he is. Ambrose of Doncaster. And how many priests is that? 2 priests, 3 priests, 4 priests. Perfect. As well as 3 merchants, and they will be arriving any minute now. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. They were hidden away behind the tags of cities. Arthur Giles. Oh, shit, Giles. The son of our great late merchant. He's not nearly as cool, though. That's the thing. He's just a mere merchant. He's no dog of the sea, basically. But we've got quite a few agents on these ships. And, yeah, we'll drop them off. We'll drop our priests off in Gibraltar, I suppose. And just have them splurge forth like a deathly wave of Catholicism. That doesn't make any sense, but they're just gonna surge forth upon the Moorish lands here. I'm sure. Oh my God, Fez is also Catholic. I'm wondering, are the Moors Catholic? Are they? Are they really? Because it's kind of looking that way. Even though I believe they're Muslim, but I could be wrong. It's just so many of their lands are full-on Catholic. I bet you what's happening is that every single Catholic kingdom in the world has their priests just positioned up in the Moorish territory. I bet you if we go to the College of Cardinals and we look at where the majority of the bishops are, yep, there's one. I believe a lot of Genoese cardinals actually are in Moorish territories, yes. Like the vast majority of them. So you know what we could do? We could always grab our one assassin, wherever he may be, and then we can send him to knock off all of those bishops of the Genoese. Because we're not just at war militarily, we're also at war diplomatically. And we'll have to play the Game of Thrones behind the scenes. So there we go. We'll send our assassin. He'll have to kill a few rebels or captains or something on the way to gain a few more points before we get there. He's only got 3 points. So we'll have to kill maybe some imams or diplomats, Fatimid diplomats. Maybe this Byzantine princess, Macrina the Gorgon.
Son in your family you have in mind for me?
She's got quite a lot of charm. I don't know what this Gorgon symbol is. I mean, moniker, perhaps. Why would you call a not bad-looking woman a Gorgon? I'm not sure. But we'll get Fitzwalter to attack Captain Etienne, and maybe that'll get him a point. I'm not sure. But I think that's basically it for this episode. We just got to shuffle one more priest about. Drop him off right outside whatever city this is, Riga and Reval. And then we can convert some pagans. Let the pagan conversion begin. We could probably even recruit yet another priest in Visby. There we go. And we're ready to rock. Someday we'll stage an invasion from Visby. but it is not today. Maybe on the Norwegians, but most likely it's going to be the Novgorodians or even the Lithuanians, because we can declare a crusade on the Lithuanians, actually. Well, not now, because it's too soon, apparently. There's a limit on crusades. You can't just call them every summer kind of thing, apparently. So we'll have to hold off for a few years until we can call yet another crusade. But there we go. When we come back next episode, we'll declare war on the Scots, and we will take Lyon with good old Barty Carr, and our empire will grow. I don't know why I said it like that, but our kingdom is ever expanding, and that's just great. But anyway, guys, as always, thank you for watching. Just a little note as well, I'm not one to beg for likes or subscriptions or even comments, but I just want you to know that every like, every comment, every dislike even that I get, it helps me immensely. So if you really want to support the channel, leave a like, leave a comment every video. If you really don't like the video, even leave a dislike, because it all helps me. The more feedback and interaction I have with viewers, the higher ranked my videos are when it comes to, linking those videos from other related videos, searches, etc. It just helps me in all. And also, you know what? We've surpassed 500 subscribers, which is also very great. I'm amazed that you guys have stuck around this long, but I just want to say thank you. But as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next video.